Hello, 5th grade, and welcome to Art at Home with Mrs. C. We are here today. We are going to be making some op art. Now, what you've learned in the Google Slides is that op art is short for optical art, which means it's a play on optical illusion. So these artists love to use colors, lines, and shapes in order to show almost like these illusions and different movements happening in their artwork. Now, typically, at East Clayton, we would make a giant one and turn it into a swatch watch, which is an option for when you're done. But for today, we're going to focus on a mini op art. Now, what I've done first is I've taken a paper plate and I've actually cut out the middle. And on most paper plates, they have that circle already drawn out for you. So if you just cut off that extra edge, then you will have a circle just like mine. It is the perfect little size to be creating this op art. Now, the first step, what you're going to do with a Sharpie, marker, pen, pencil, whatever you have at home, is to make this wavy line. So this wavy line is going to go from one side of your circle to the other. And if your paper isn't circle, you can also do this with rectangle. I've done it before on a full-size piece of copy paper, so it would be a little bit larger. A little bit more to color, but it is possible to do on a different size piece of paper. So our circle is going to look a little bit like this with our wavy line. Then we're going to add 4 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 dots. And now all you're going to do is connect the dots with curvy lines. So you're actually going to make a sad face to connect these dots. Once, twice, 3 times, and these ones on the end, you're going to start at the dot and then go off the page. So it's like a half a sad face, like so. Okay, next step, you're going to go from the dot to the top of the circle, but you don't want to go straight. You want to make these wavy lines, once again, to give this illusion that these lines are going to be bulging out and moving. Whoops. Okay. From there, we're going to connect the dots one more time, but we're going to go up this time. So we're going to go from dot to dot, and we're going to go bigger sad faces all the way towards the top of your circle. You won't need many. You don't want them too close together, but also not too far apart. And once again, you can also experiment with going off that page right there. Now this small one is extremely small, so maybe we'll add just 1 extra layer in there and then continue on to the other side. All the way up. Like so, okay? So your first half is done. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna flip it over and do the same thing. So to review, we're gonna connect the dots with sad faces, and then off the page. We're gonna go up with wavy lines. Some weave them in, some weave them out to make this illusion. Okay, once again, keep going off the page. And it's really important that these lines are really curved. If you go straight, it's not gonna look right. It's not gonna give the effect that you want. Remember, op art is all about the illusion. And done. Okay, so once you're done with the drawing piece, now we're ready to add colors. So this project works best with colored pencils. So I've got my colored pencils ready to go. You can use any colors you want, but try to think about colors that might go together, okay? For this one, I did some warm colors. We have some really cool, almost spooky colors with the black and the purple, and then some cool, and then back to the warm. If you just want to stick with 2 color combinations, you can. You can do it rainbow, however you want. But let me show you how to color these in correctly, okay? We're going to be using value, okay, and value is the lightness or darkness of a color. Now, in order to make these bulges look like they're popping out, we need the light to hit on the center of these curves. So what you're going to do is you're going to go darker to medium to light, back to light, medium, darker. So essentially the darkness is going to be on the edges to make it look like it's in the shadows, whereas the highlights, where the light is hitting, is going to be in the center. Okay, and you can see that on my giant one as well. So if you start just with any one right here, you're going to color super dark, and the harder you press, the darker the color will be. I'm also going to do it on the other side. And it's really important that you do each of these sections individually. If you try to do them all at the same time, it's not gonna work. Then I'm gonna switch to medium, so I'm gonna press down a little bit lighter, and then finally fade to the lightest. Now the biggest thing with this is you want it to be a gradual change, a nice slow change from dark to light. Okay, so each of those need to be completed that way. Now, if I want to do a pattern, I might skip this one and jump to the next to do a red there too while I have red in my hand. Once again, super, super dark to medium, just kind of let up just a little bit, and then to light. Same thing, you're going to be moving your paper a lot for this project. Darkest to medium to light. Okay, and you have that highlight in there. Now, like I said, you want to do some sort of pattern. Maybe I want to get some black and red in there. So the black is really cool because you can get really, really dark and then fade to that grayish to that white. So maybe for my alternate pattern, I can do dark and the black, lighten up just a little bit, and then my highlights. You just want to blend it all together. You really don't want to see where it changes drastically from dark to light. Now, this does seem like it's going to take a little bit of your time, but once it is done, it's going to look really, really awesome. Okay, and if you don't have colored pencils at home, you can still do the drawing activity, maybe jazz it up with some watercolor paint or with some crayons or some markers. Once you have this piece as a starting point, there's really a lot of things you can do with it. Okay, all right, 5th grade, I can't wait to see what you come up with. Thanks for joining me for Art at Home with Mrs. C. I miss you guys. Good luck. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Bye.